I am now going to demonstrate how to remove a provisional cast on. This is a crochet chain provisional cast on in green, and I have a separate video for how to make it. In that video, I suggested that you tie a little knot at the end so that you know from which end you'll be unraveling. So the idea of a provisional cast on is that you want to have some stitches to get started, but you want to come back later on, and that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to be ending up with blue loops on my needle, and the green yarn will be thrown away. So from the end, you're going to pull that through the loop. So we're kind of going backwards from how we got started. And then you'll have to pull it through again, basically getting to the point where it'll unravel and just sort of unzip our crochet. And we are there now. So when I pull this, my green loop is going to come out of here and it's going to come out of the blue, and I need to catch these stitches. So I like to catch them as I go, and I'm going to pop my knitting needle into both of these. Often people will, oh here, sorry, that was just the tail. Thought it was funny there too. So you want to think about the direction that you're going in. So we're going to go in this way so that my stitch will end up correctly oriented on my knitting needle. Often people end up going in the other direction and they end up with a whole row of twisted stitches. So if the needle is in your left hand, you're going away from you, and I like to catch it first and then pull. These stitches won't unravel as easily as normal stitches because we're getting the underside of them. They were knit this way and they want to unravel that way more. But just for safety's sake, I like to grab the stitch before I pull. Grab the old stitch before I pull. Just feels a little bit better. The other option, if you want to, is you could unzip and then kind of scramble to catch this before it sinks into the fabric. I don't like that feeling as much. It makes it this a panicky sort of thing. And then at the very end, it can be easy to miss this last loop, but you are in it and you do want it. Often people end up losing one stitch when they're undoing this, and that's because what you're catching is not exactly the stitches. You're catching the yarn between two stitches, so you might end up missing this one at the end. If you do, don't worry about it. It's not going to unravel. Just increase a stitch on the next row. Don't tell anyone, and they're never going to know. So here again, my provisional cast on was here. I knit this direction and bound off, and now I can knit this direction. And you might want to do that for some projects where you need to work in both directions. Like maybe you have a scallop stitch for a scarf and you want the scallops to be symmetric on the ends of the scarf. You might work from the center out and then from the center out the other way. It also is used in some projects where you'd be grafting the beginning and end together to create a tube. It's a cool technique and it's not as scary as people think it might be. All right, have fun practicing.